Hey everybody, and welcome back to Stance Bros. Today we have a familiar car in. We have the 1 of 500 ever sold XJR Jaguar in, and we're going to be doing a step-by-step process teaching you guys exactly how to wax your car. With summer coming up, we know some of you may not have the budget for ceramic coating, might not know how to apply a ceramic coating, or just don't believe in ceramic coating and you want to stick to your wax. So we have a step-by-step video of exactly how to wax your car, and today we're using Masterson's Carnauba wax. I'll leave the link down in the description for you guys to go buy. It's pretty cheap wax, but don't let that fool you. It works amazing. So first, let's talk a little bit about why you would want to wax your car. So the first thing, and the most important one, is it's gonna increase the depth of gloss. Otherwise, why would you want to do it? We all want our vehicle to look nice. Second thing it's gonna do is offer, not to the same extent as the ceramic coating, but very little protection against fading from the sun, so it's going to protect against UV rays. It's going to be a lot easier to clean, decrease upkeep. You're going to get those water beads. It's not going to last anything near a year or plus a year or anything like that, like a ceramic coating, but it is a good form of protection if you don't want to go that route. Now, who would use it? Really depends on you. This is mainly for somebody that wants to protect their car, they care about their car, they don't really want to bring it into a detail shop, they want to do it all themselves. A wax would be perfect for you, and we're gonna go over right now, step by step, exactly how to apply it to get the best protection and best gloss. Let's jump into it. So we're gonna show you by hand of how to apply this wax, and then we're gonna show you with a machine. Machine, there's no real benefit, just that it'll go on a lot quicker, but you can also do this by hand. I'm gonna show you on the hood, the full hood, exactly how to do it by hand. So we're using a microfiber applicator pad, and you just wanna get quite a bit of wax down the middle like that, and you can put it, just kind of rub it into the pad a little bit. Now we're using a Carnauba wax, and I'd always recommend using Carnauba wax. Just in my opinion, they're the best. Perfect. You can even get a little bit more on there. And yes, I'm putting a lot on, but it's not one of those cases where more is better. You can reapply it if you want. In a lot of cases, you do have more on there. It just makes it a lot harder to get it off. So reapply is better than just putting a ton on right in the beginning. And we're just gonna cut the hood right in half with it. Go straight to the middle. And just apply it in circles. You can go up and down. I like to do little circles just to ensure there's a very even application. Now read the directions on your bottle. Maybe some of them do want you to go side to side, up and down. This one here, you can do in any kind of motion. And again, it varies on types of waxes. Some of them you buff off right away. Some of them you wait 15 to 20 minutes. This one here doesn't really have a time limit, so we're just gonna let it sit for maybe 2-3 minutes. Just let that sit for a little bit, and I'll catch you guys in about 3 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes now. I just walked over, I grabbed a premium microfiber towel. If you guys wanna know where to get these from, one of the best places to get these from is not a detail shop, nothing fancy like that, it's Costco. They offer the best deal for premium microfiber towels. Now it's been sitting for a little bit, and you just wanna go ahead and buff it off. And this stuff comes off super easy. If you're not coming off super easy, there's a problem. But it comes off super easy, super slick. Make sure you do get it all off, because if you let wax dry on your car for too long, it doesn't come off. So make sure you're getting it all off. Another good thing, do never, never, never apply this in direct sunlight. Again, it won't come off your paint. Buff it off, make sure you flip your towel every now and then. And again, this is just gonna add some protection against the sun, make your paint super slick so you get that water beading effect, increase the gloss. Lots of benefits to it. You always hear people say wax is dead. That's not ever the case. It's just whatever you prefer. So again, we're just gonna do this whole hood together by hand, and then I'll do the rest with the machine, just so you guys can see how glossy it makes the car. Flip it off. One of the things you don't want to do is apply wax on top of a different kind of wax, so always stick to the same brand. And you never want to apply wax on PPF or ceramic coated car, because both those things are meant to reject things. So if you put you put a wax on top of a coating, it's going to clog your coating and reject the wax, and then you're going to have to reinstall your coating. There you go. And this hood just feels super slick now. Over here. Another big tip is when you're buffing it off, you want to make sure that you're getting everything that you're pushing, because technically you push the wax when you're buffing it off. So just go over here, even though you didn't put any wax on, and make sure it's all off. Let's get a close up. Bring you guys a little bit closer. You can see this side is definitely a lot more black than this side over here. There's still some haziness over here. That's another thing the wax will do. It'll help cover up any haziness. There is that thin line right in the middle, adding a little bit more gloss. Oh yeah, I just brought you guys up nice and close for the second half of the hood. Same thing, we're just gonna rub some wax into here. And if you guys can't see on camera the difference in gloss, I'm sorry, sometimes the camera won't pick things up, but please trust me, there is a difference in gloss from side to side here, and you guys will definitely notice a difference in gloss. If you're not after gloss, remember it will offer a little bit of protection. So again, we spread out the wax onto our microfiber pad. You can use a foam pad, doesn't matter. And I'm applying in circles because it doesn't specify. You just go all the way along your hood or your car. We're only going in circles just to ensure that we have an even spread. We're not using too much wax. If you need to reapply, that's better than using a large amount. You can go up, down, side to side. The bottle doesn't specify. And we're gonna let it sit. I like to let it sit. If it doesn't specify, I like to let it sit for about 2-3 minutes, nothing more than 5. And then we're gonna go over and get our microfiber towel and we'll buff it off. While we're letting the wax sit, I'm gonna tell you guys just a little bit of the prep that we did. So we cleaned, clayed, and decontaminated the whole vehicle before we put the wax on. No, you technically don't need to clay your vehicle. It just looks a lot nicer if you do clay your vehicle when you remove all the contaminants from the paint. So essentially what that means is we took a clay bar and we went over top of the paint, making sure that we pull anything embedded into the paint out so you get that super slick finish. Always make sure that you wash your car up so you don't want to wax a dirty vehicle. And think of it this way, if you put a screen protector on your phone, when your phone's dirty, you're just locking in everything that's on your phone for as long as you have that screen protector on. So the same thing with the wax, you don't want to wax a dirty vehicle, and you can also scratch the paint if you do that. So now that's sat for about 2-3 minutes. Again, buff it off. You can go in circles if you want. I like to, even when I polish. And buff it all off. And again, as you're buffing it off, you're pushing it a little bit, so you will get a little bit of overlap onto this side. Just make sure that you go back and make sure everything's off. Flip your microfiber towel every now and then. Always making sure that you're using a premium microfiber towel to reduce scratches. You're never going to reduce them 100%, but you can reduce them as much as possible. And you guys can do this with any kind of wax. We're just using Masterson's today. Just to show you guys that you can use basically any kind of wax to do this. You don't need to use a $100 bottle. Anything will really work. Some people will tell you that you need to polish your vehicle before doing this. You don't. It's just gonna look a lot nicer if you do, but you really don't need to do that. There we go. That Look over here, make sure I get all the overspray, overlapping. And again, you guys can reapply if necessary. I really hope that you guys can see in the camera, and I'll bring you guys up for a close-up when the whole car is done, but it really does add gloss and depth. Now, let's remember, most waxes, unless they specify otherwise, are only for the paint. If you think that you're gonna overlap onto some trim, make sure you tape off that trim as best as you can. Don't put it on your windows, nothing like that, just strictly paint. If you do get it on your trim, get it off immediately, otherwise it will stain your trim. Okay, so now we're going to show you how to apply it with the machine. So I'm using a DA polisher, and you can use any kind of polisher, buffer, anything except for a rotary. I wouldn't ever apply a wax with a rotary just because a DA polisher is meant to mimic your hand motion, and it's a lot less aggressive, and that's what you want when applying a wax, is the least aggressive methods. So there's a white pad. White pads are meant for waxes, sealants, glazes, anything like that. You don't want to use a yellow pad or a blue pad, God forbid, a blue pad. That will start to cut into your paint, and that's what you do with a paint correction. So same thing as polishing though, we're just going to put a little bit of dots onto our pad. And there's no benefit other than speed when you're using a polisher. And speaking of speed, I'd set your speed to about 4, 3, 3.5. Also, if you're learning how to polish, applying a wax is probably the best and safest way to learn how to polish or buff a car, or however you want to word it. So we're gonna do half the hood. I'm not applying any kind of pressure, like I could literally do this with one hand. I wouldn't recommend doing it with one hand. I'm just showing you no pressure at all. This one's just to guide it. I'm gonna turn it on. And that's it. No pressure. Second hammer is just to guide it. And again, you let it sit for 2-3 minutes. When using the polisher, again, least aggressive is the best way to go. And then you go over and you get a microfiber towel. Now, every single microfiber towel that we use on the exterior of cars here is a brand new one. We never want to have any contamination that can scratch the car, so we're always using premium, always brand new. Once the brand new ones are done, they get washed, they get used in interiors. After that, we use them for engine bays, then we throw them out. So we're letting this sit. When polishing, you want to overlap every now and then. You're past about halfway with the second pass, kind of like mowing a lawn, you kind of overlap. As you go by, you're going to go side to side, up and down. 3 passes is good with a wax. If you were actually polishing, I'd recommend just going until the wax starts, or the polish starts to kind of run out. Use as your discretion. But again, we're just letting it sit. And once it starts to haze up in certain areas, that's a good indication of when to start wiping. You won't notice that when you're applying it by hand as much, but with the machine, it spreads it a lot faster. So you're gonna notice it'll start to haze up a little bit, and you can start to buff it off. Again, I didn't do it, but make sure you tape off if you're not confident with the trim, because it will permanently stain the trim. Because the polisher spreads it out a lot easier, it's a lot easier to actually buff off. So that's another benefit of using the machine. When you're buffing it off, just use the weight of your hand. You don't really need to push or anything like that. Okay. On the back of the car, you can definitely see, it might be better lighting, but you can definitely see half and half. I hope you can in the camera too, but you can in the camera, perfect. So that side's obviously darker than that side. But it's not all about how shiny or how glossy the car is. It will offer the protection as well against the sun. If you have a classic car, a lot of people don't want to install ceramic coatings to that. So again, protection against the sun, UVs, It will offer a little bit of protection against bird droppings, and it will make it a lot easier to wash, decrease the upkeep. A lot of the benefits of a ceramic coating, just not to the same extent, and definitely for not how long they will last. Definitely not for the duration, sorry. Ceramic coatings can last up to 6 years, whereas a wax, Colonite 854 lasts for about 6 to 8 months. That's the longest I've seen a wax last. So we're gonna go ahead and do the other side now. So again, about dime sized, not even, pea-sized little dabs. A lot of people, they spread it out, they go bang, 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 they spread it out. I don't want to cause dents. Plus, with newer technology, as soon as the wax or polish or compound touches the paint, you want to start polishing right away, because that's just the science now. As soon as it starts touching, it's going to start to work. So you want to go put it on, and then right away you want to start working, spread it out, and then go back and actually kind of like buff it in. Perfect. Off camera, we're just gonna let that sit. I'll buff it off. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of the car, and I'll show you guys the rest of the car right after. Okay, so that will conclude today's video. I try my best to pack as much information into these short little videos as possible. So let's just go over the main things right away. Whether you're doing it by hand or by machine, it's relatively the same thing. Read the back of your bottle. Make sure that you're reading the directions. It'll tell you exactly how long to wipe it off, or how long to wait before you wipe it off. If it doesn't specify, wait until it hazes, and that's a good indication to wipe it off. I wouldn't let it sit for more than 5 minutes unless it specifies to, obviously. Never do this in direct sunlight. Make sure it's not too cold either. Make sure to get all the wax off of the car, otherwise it's basically stuck there it's pretty hard to get off. If you do hit your trim or anything like that, make sure you wipe it off as soon as possible. When you're applying by hand, go in little circles, make sure it evenly goes over top of the car unless it's specified to go side to side or up and down. Just make sure you get an even spread of the whole thing. You guys can use any kind of wax you want. We just use Mastersons because they're kind enough to send us a bunch of products and ask for our thoughts on them. And we love them, honestly. They're a DIY product that actually works. So check them out. Or if you're in Calgary and you don't want to wait for shipping, check out Revolutions Detailing in Calgary because they also help supply these. While you guys are down there checking out the link, subscribe, give us a like, check out our online store. We have our online store down there. We noticed a few of you guys bought some t-shirts. Thank you so much. That really helps support the channel. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next detail. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I will personally answer them all as soon as possible. Drive safe.
Here at Stance Bros, we're recognized as one of Calgary's premier detailing spas. Our meticulous attention to detail ensures every vehicle entrusted to us leaves looking its best. Join us on this channel as we showcase our passion for cars, detailing expertise, and exciting car content. At Stance Bros, we're cultivating a community united by our passion for all things automotive.
Nice stance, bro.